And then there were two, guys. Two episodes left in our top 100 games of all time 2025 edition. So this episode here is going to be number 40 down to number 21. So these games are, wow, when you're talking about the top 100 games of all time, when you've played probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 or 4,000 different games, and the last few years. Viper Dave, how you doing, sir? Good evening to you, my friend. I hope all is well. When you're narrowing it down and you've played that many games and now you got the top 100 and they're all great. Any one of these games in the top 100 is like top, 8, 9, or 10 out of 10. I mean, these are like the best of the best of the best. And now we're talking about the best 40 games of all time. These are like the super best of the best. These are all 9s and 10s. These are all, there's no 8s in here. These are all, in my opinion, 9s and 10s. These are all classic games. I'd be happy to play these games at any time and any moment. And there's 5 brand new games in 2024 that are on my list this year. So 5 games that I never played before. Maybe they were released in 2024, or maybe I just never played them until 2024, but 5 new games. Let's get to it and show you guys what's on the table for tonight. Alright, so before we get started, I need to adjust my screen. There we go. Alright. So, number 40. 40. And this is going to be like, it was the number one game for 3 or 4 years. It was a long time. Then it's kind of dropped a few spots recently. And Brass Birmingham is now the number one game of all time. But for me, my number 40 game of all time is going to be Gloomhaven. And now I'm taking the Gloomhaven world. And so this spot includes Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. Anything Gloomhaven is in this spot. This is going to be a massive, massive game. And that's the only reason I rate it a little bit lower than some people, is because it's such a massive game. The box is literally like, it's a humongous box. I did an unboxing of Frosthaven. So, Gloomhaven is all about taking your characters and choosing. Your cards have a top and a bottom, a special ability, and you take 2 cards and you can use the top card, top power on one card and the bottom power on another card, and you're trying to complete the mission. The cards are, in essence, your life, because when you run out of cards and you can't play any cards, then the scenario is over, and if you haven't completed the scenario, you lose. It's a very thematic game. There's a lot of tough decisions. It is campaign worthy, where you go through. This is one of these kind of evolution games. The whole world evolves. Your characters evolve. Your characters evolve so much that they will retire, and you'll have to start bringing new characters in. So that's, what is there to say about Gloomhaven that hasn't been spoken out there in the world yet? It is at all times classic, tactical adventure game where you can play multiple characters and you're taking them out on adventures and you're trying to complete the scenarios and then work back into the town and get your rewards and trying to level up your characters and get slightly better cards in. It's just a great, great game, but for me, it doesn't quite make it higher than number 40 because it is a longer game. It is campaign. All this stuff works against what I try to do on my channel, which is play lots of different games. And, playing one game, you can literally play Gloomhaven for a solid year and play nothing else if you wanted to do that. You could do that. It's a great game, don't get me wrong. It's just a little bit too much for me to handle and manage and put time and effort into. It's still a great game. It's top 40 material for sure. And maybe this year we'll try and get back in. We got the Frosthaven. We'll try and do a couple scenarios in that. Maybe that'll inspire me to move this up or down the list next year in 2026. So, Gloomhaven, top 40. Everyone's probably heard of this game. It's a staple, and it's a really good one. It's just you have to commit to it, and put some effort into keeping this on the table, playing through multiple missions, which can, each mission can last a couple hours. It's going to be a great game, and it's going to give you a great experience, but it is a commitment. Hey, William, how you doing tonight? So that is number 40. Number 39 is a medium weight Euro game that I find to be extremely interesting. It has a rondelle, and it has multiple rondelles that kind of spin, and you're trying to put your worker, and then you're going to be activating the rondelle from the inside to the middle section to the outside, and you're going to earn different kind of resources to try and complete your Terracotta Army, number 39. It was number 49 last year, so it's dropped actually 10 spots, which is very good. It's been very consistent on my list for the last couple years because I find this to be a very interesting game. You're trying to decide which one of the Terracotta Armies to build, where you're going to build it. There's this area majority thing going on in part of the map board. You're also trying to earn yourself special master workers, so they give you special bonuses, and it's all based upon this rondelle system. And so you're trying to find a location to put your little meeple, and then like the first spot might give you some clay. The second thing might say build one of the Terracotta Army, and the third one might be to gain some more resources. And so you're trying to work out which is the best location to put your meeple down. The AI system is pretty decent. I'm going to say it's above average. It's not perfect because there is it is kind of fiddly a little bit because there's this area majority thing going on, and trying to find the exact location that the AI would put its piece in and where it's being the smartest move for it. It's sometimes better to kind of ignore the rules and just say, if I was to put this piece, where would I put it? So again, the AI system is above average for the solo, and it works fine, but sometimes you just kind of got to override that yourself. But it's a great fun medium weight Euro game. It's going to weigh in about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours. So it's a little bit of a commitment, but it's a nice playthrough. I have a really good time playing this, and like I said, the AI is pretty interesting, and you're never sure what's happening or what they're going to do, and they always seem to make the right move at the right time as well. So that's pretty cool. So number 39 is Terracotta Army, up 10 spots. Let's see, is it going to be top 20 next year? We'll see. All right, number 38 was number 28 last year, so it's dropped 10 spots as opposed to raised 10 spots. This is probably my favorite. It was at one point a couple years ago my favorite tactical system, but I just haven't played it as much, so it's falling. I think like 2 years ago it was like top 10. Last year it was number 28, and this year it is number 38, and that is, of course, the Lock and Load. Everyone drink. I don't have my drink. Sorry. We have a little thing every time someone says Lock and Load. We all drink on the War Room, so we drink. But it is a great tactical game. I used to play a lot of digitally on this, and it's a great way to play the game. You can also obviously play with the counters and the maps and everything. Very easy system to learn, very easy to play. It is best played not solo. You have to kind of work your way, play multiplayer. If you want to play solo, they're starting to release. They have released a solo module you can purchase for the game, which will run the AI. Or if you buy the most recent expansion for Heroes of Normandy called The Bitter Harvest, with their good buddy Devin on the front cover. They have an AI system built into that where it gives you the AI in the box. So that is super good. I really wish more game companies would do that, and I appreciate Lock and Load putting the effort into creating that, knowing that a lot of their players play this solo, and making it play good solo is going to keep this playing for a lot of people, because not everyone can get out and play with face-to-face opponents. So it's just dropped a little bit for me, 10 spots, just because I don't play it as much as I used to. I used to try and get this game in 3 or 4, 5 times a year, and now it's down to like once or maybe twice a year. Let me look at my actual sheet, and I will tell you exactly. Lock. Let's just look for lock. And all right, well, we didn't even play it, according to my sheet, in 2024. So that's, again, why it's dropping. It's still a great game. There's so many different components. This spot, number 38, is for all of Lock and Load. This is not for the Heroes of Normandy. There's Heroes of Normandy. There is Heroes of Defiance. There's Heroes of North Africa. There's Heroes of the Pacific. There's Heroes of the Motherland. I mean, there is like 20 different modules. That's just a placeholder for all of them. I'm going to put them all into one group. And Lock and Load Tactical. Great tactical system. Again, easy to play. There's a solo bot that you can purchase. There is, again, in one of the latest editions, there is a solo bot system already built into it. And I think going forward, they plan on continuing to do that. So, my number 38, great tactical game, Heroes of Normandy, and I love the whole Lock and Load system, and I love the Lock and Load, the way they design the games, and, punch in, punch out, pre-round encounters, you can get it to the table, and the components are great. Number 37 is a brand new game on the list. So, it wasn't on the list last year. This is a dungeon delving game. And the main thing about this is called Altar Quest. The main reason for me it's so high up on the list is because it is all based on modularity. So you're choosing the villain and you're using the villain deck. You're choosing the enemies that are going to be in the dungeon, and you use those deck. And you're choosing your heroes, and you're using those decks, and you're choosing the environment that the dungeon is going to evolve into, and you're choosing the shrine that's going to go in there. So everything, the whole scenario is all randomly generated based upon your choices that you make, or, you can just say, oh, I'm going to play with this and this and this and that, and boom, boom, boom. And you made your own scenario just by choosing all these different options. There is a scenario campaign system that you can go through. I think it's like 4 or 5 missions back to back to back that you can go through that tells a little bit of a story and stuff like that. As you know me, I can care less about the story in a dungeon delve. For me, it's about how the game plays and what it does. That's what interests me first in this game is it's all modular. The second thing that interests me about this game is you roll 5 dice, and on the sides of the dice are different elements. So you have fire and water and trying to think of some of the others, like nature and spirit and death and something else. There's like 6 different elements. And each of your characters has cards you're going to be playing, and those cards are going to be like, oh, do 1 point of, move 2 spaces and do like 2 points of damage to an opponent. And then it might have like the wind icon. And if one of the dice out there has a wind icon, it might be energized that power. So you're trying to match your powers to the dice, and you're trying to get the better version of the cards, if that makes kind of sense to you guys. I'm not going to play through this on the channel. It is super good. It is an expensive game, and the only reason I own this game is because I did get it on one of those super sale things, and it was like 40 or 50% off. And at that time, I was like, yeah, I'll try and see. And when I'm so glad I did. Each of the characters plays extremely different. They're not your stereotypical, rogue, wizard, fighter and stuff. There's like a vampire lady. There's one lady that has like, or one character that has like wings and like a half bird. And there's one that's like a lycanthrope. And so you get these non-stereotypical fantasy, which is another really nice thing. Your stereotypical orcs are different in this game. You will fight orcs and stuff, but they're not your average orcs. They're kind of a little bit different. So I find it to be a refreshing break from your normal stuff that you expect. So number 37, new to us this year, is Altar Quest. I love the modularity. I love the elemental dice. And I love, you're making your choices for your characters. It plays fine solo. I ran solo, I think 3 or 4 characters, whatever it was. And it plays fine. Maybe it was only 2 characters. I can't remember. All right, number 36 was number 46 last year. So dropping a little bit. And that's because I started playing this, another game I started playing on Board Game Arena. And they have the module in there. And so I played this occasionally on the table. It is a great card game. It's an all-time classic. This game has been up and down my list. Last year it was 46. I think the year before it was like in the top 15, somewhere in there. So it's been back and forth just depending on how much we play it. And this is, of course, a classic in the wargaming industry, Terraforming Mars. Again, I kind of poo-pooed on this after 2023, but in 2024, I'm like, I'll play Terraforming Mars. It's been a while. Let's try it out. And I had a great time in Board Game Arena. A great time. The mission was, the cards, draws, and everything. The one thing about Terraforming Mars that's always kind of threw me off about it is you have a huge stack of cards, so everything's kind of random. And it's very hard to get like combolacious things going on. Like you might try to be getting an energy engine going, and so you need energy cards, and like you don't draw energy cards, you're drawing other cards. And then another time you might be trying to get microbes and trying to get a lot of heat going, and then all of a sudden you're not getting any of those cards. So it can be, in my experience, I've probably played this game maybe 20 or 25 times. It's been kind of frustrating a little bit with, okay, sometimes it's really cool because you get really cool combinations going. And other times this has been like I couldn't get anything going. I couldn't get any energy. I couldn't do anything. And we failed the mission. And it's just like not as good. So it kind of fluctuates up and down based upon the experience you have with it. Obviously, like all games do, right? So yes, all games are based upon the experience we have with them. If we enjoy the experience, they're going to go up. And if we don't enjoy the experience, they're going to go down. The difference is with Terraforming Mars and all the other games you've seen on this list is in Terraforming Mars, everything is very dependent on the random cards you're drawing and the random faction you start with. Again, it is number 36. It is a great game. Do not think I'm talking bad about this game at all. Actually, it's moved up the list 10 spots, which is great. Again, I'm playing it more on Board Game Arena. It's quick to play. It's easier that way than trying to get the cards out and sorting everything and getting all the pieces out. And so Board Game Arena, if you own that system, I would highly recommend you try it out. And it's a classic engine building game. You're trying to get heat. Heat will create your energy. Start to terraform the land, and you're trying to get the land out there, to put the oceans out there, and trying to get the oxygen level up. And if you can complete all of those three things by the end of the turn, if you're playing solo, that is. If you're playing with multiple people, there is objectives you're trying to complete before everybody else completes them, and it's a great game. It's just awesome. So now my number 36, Terraforming Mars, which is, it's good to see it coming down the list. I thought after 2023, I thought it was going to keep falling and just, be off the top 100, but it's good to see it's sticking around. Number 35 was number 122 last year. So outside the top 100, still a great game. But this year I committed to playing more of it for the first time in a long time. And I ended up buying several of the campaign missions. And the game I'm talking about, of course, is The Lord of the Rings, the card game. So if you're not familiar, you can purchase scenario campaigns boxes, and they have several of those. And they've been re-releasing those as one box completes the whole adventure. And so I've been buying some of those. So now I've got several of them. So we played a bunch of the missions. In fact, right here, in this drawer. In this drawer right here, you will see I've got my cards sitting here ready to go in this drawer right here to pull out the next campaign mission that we're playing. I'm actually playing through a little campaign mission. Started it from the core box, and then we did the Golem run, and we did a couple of the others. So we played it like 4 or 5 times. In fact, let's look up. I would like to know myself. I don't look at these stats ahead of time, to be honest. We want Lord. Let's look at Lord of the Rings. The card game. We played it 4 times. Okay, so not a lot, but getting back into the swing. This was probably 10 years ago. It was probably my number 1 or my number 2 game of all time. That's how high it was. I love the Lord of the Rings, the card game. It is one of the best solo adventure games. It's all card driven. It has all the characters and all the moments from all the movies and all the shows and all the books and everything. And the scenarios sometimes can be extremely hard. You are doing some deck management. You're doing some deck building. You got a massive stack of cards you're choosing to put into your deck. Based upon which characters you have, you get to add certain kinds of cards to your deck. It is so good to sit down and play this game, and it is the artwork from Fantasy Flight is amazing. It's an amazing experience, and I'm really glad I'm getting back into it and trying it out after, like I said, 10 or 12, 15 years off, getting back and playing it again. So looking forward to seeing how the campaign goes. I never really, as you know, I don't really play a campaign. But the cool thing about the Lord of the Rings, as opposed to like dungeon campaigns and Gloomhaven campaigns and all the other campaigns, is when you're playing the Lord of the Rings campaign, you just literally put your cards back in the box. And then when you start the next campaign, you're going to just pull your cards out and be ready to go. It's not like you have to remember where you're at, remember any hit points you have, what upgrades you have, or anything like that. The living card game systems are really designed for ease of play back into it. So my number 35, The Lord of the Rings, the card game. And I foresee this jumping up a bunch this year. We're probably going to be playing it anywhere between 5 and 10 times and try and get through this campaign and then start another campaign. I would like to do that. Number 34 was number 56. So this is also up like 20 spots. And it's because, again, we played it a bunch. In fact, if I look and I look, we played it 3 times. That's all. Okay, 3 times. I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, when you have 660 games, you can't play all of them. So if you play it, it should be on your list because it's, obviously important, especially if you played it multiple times. This is, of course, the G.I. Joe deck building game. So I was never really a G.I. Joe kind of guy. I knew about them, and sure, I remember watching the old cartoons and stuff like that, but I couldn't tell you, like, who the main characters are, who the villains are, or anything like that. So I don't have really any affiliation to the G.I. Joe system. But when I started playing this game, I like how a lot of the deck building mechanics they use in this game and how they do things when you purchase cards. It immediately goes in your hand, which is super nice. There is a lot of villains that you have to try to defeat, and each of them is special. You're trying to upgrade your own character. You're playing with several characters. I run 2 different hands at the same time. I call it solo, but it's not technically solo. You're running 2 different hands. It's 2-handed, and it plays fine. Solitaire. It's a deck building. You're adding cards to your deck, which are going to be more Joes. The cool thing is you're going to have different vehicles that will, like the Vamp. The Vamp can hold up to 6 your Joes, and you can take any of those Joes, and you have this deck. You're working together, so like you can take Joes from your other playing partners to, hey, I can send this Joe on the mission so we can try and complete it. And then, yeah, there's a lot of interaction and stuff like that. I would say this probably plays best 2 or 3 or 4 people. It doesn't, yes, you can play it solo fine. It's just not the bestest because of that whole interaction stuff. And so you're having to manage both decks at the same time and figure out who's going to send Joes on the mission and who's going to not use cards, and who they're, which person you're going to go after. And I think it's one of those probably better games if you play with several people, because then you get that interaction, you get more thoughts and more ideas going on, and it kind of fleshes it out a little bit more. There's quite a few expansions for this already that add new missions and new story modes and new cards and everything like that. So it's starting to flesh it out, and played it quite a few times in 2024. So I'm probably going to continue playing it. So this game should stay on my top 100 list for a while until I, kind of experienced enough of it, I guess. Moving on, number 33. Now, number 33 was number 58. So this is another game that shot way up, and I played it a bunch. In fact, this is another one I'm interested to find out. How many times I played it? I played it 5 times, okay, in 2024. And I would have thought I played it more. If somebody would have asked me, I would have thought I played it more. Because this is one of these games, you have an hour and you're like, I just want something simple and easy to sit on the table and play. And that is Cascadia. Now, number 33 game. It was number 58 last year. It is so simple to play. You're simply, you got elks and bears and hawks and foxes and salmon. So there's 5 different animals, and each of those animals will tell you how it scores. Like elks might want to be next to other elks. Bears might want to be pairs of bears. So you want a bear next to a bear, but not next to any other bear. And your salmon might be score on the longest continuous run. And so when you're drawing your tiles and you're putting out the tiles, which are going to be mountains and forest and rivers and plains and grasslands, and I'm trying to think of what else might be on there. You're trying to manipulate the terrain, and then each terrain piece comes with a token that's one of the 5 animals. So you're trying to figure out which terrain piece and animal works the best for your strategy. And it plays in like 45 minutes, give or take 5 to 10 minutes. It's not a super long game. Plays pretty quick. You're playing basically 20 or 21 turns and the game's over. So it's just simply you're drawing. There's going to be 3 sets of terrain and animals, and you're going to pick out the set that you want, put it on the table, and then one of those sets the AI will take, and that'll be it. And then you'll draw 2 replacements and do another turn. So it's very quick, simple AI system. It doesn't get in the way. It takes your pieces away, but it doesn't take a long time to do. It's just it will randomly take away one of the sets, and then you'll be left with whatever the last one is, and then 2 new sets will come out. There's some more I should talk about. There are, I forget the token name of them, but if you, inspiration token maybe, I forget the name of it. But anyways, you can use those inspiration tokens to take an animal and a terrain piece that are not matched together. So you might have a mountain and a salmon, and you might have a prairie and a bear. You could use one of your inspiration tokens to take the bear and the mountain, which were not matched up together. So there's those special tokens that you earn every once in a while. And so there's some of that manipulating because, if I take this tile, it'll give me one of those tokens to use later on in the game, which could be super powerful. But do I really need another prairie? Not really. And then most of the terrain pieces are multiple different terrains. So your terrain piece might have on the left side, it might be all plains, and on the right side might be mountains. So you're trying to put the mountains with the mountains and the plains with the plains and the rivers with the rivers. It's because each one of those different terrains scores upon how big it is at the end of the game. So there's a lot of strategy, a lot of interesting things, but it plays super, super quick. And that's why it's my number 33 game of all time, Cascadia. Number 32 is a war game. This is actually up from number 45, so about the same spot, but up a little bit. And that's again because we played it a few times this year. I think, did me and Tony play this together? Me and somebody played this together online. I'm pretty sure I remember. Who was that? Was it Tony? I can't remember. But it's Normandy 44. We did it for the anniversary of D-Day. I could have sworn I played this online with somebody. Tony or Ruff or Nate or one of my wargaming buddies. But anyways, this is part of the Seminich 40X system. It is light on density of counters, light on rules, and it's basically a hex encounter light war game. I'm not even going to say light. It's a medium war game, but light on the counters and light on the rules. It's still pretty involved. There's special units and there's special rules and special circumstance for the different terrain pieces. And this is one of these CRT games, which means you're adding up all your attack values and then altered based upon the rules. So like, if this unit, I'm trying to explain it without bogging everything down. If you have units from the 82nd Division and they're with the units from the 101st. Well, some of these units might only attack at half strength. So you're calculating, basically you're calculating your offensive value and the defender's defensive values based upon the terrain they're in and their terrain value or their defensive values, and you're combining those into a number. So like 10 versus 4. So that would be like 2 to 1, right? So like 2 to 1 advantage. And so you would roll on the 2 to 1 column and get a result. Defender retreats, or defender eliminated, or defender takes a step loss, or they got to try and do a determined defense. So there's a lot of wargamey, hex encounter, zone of control, Zoc bonds. It's kind of this system they use in the 40X system. It is great. It's a nice medium war game. If you are familiar with war games and familiar with zone of control and CRTs and stuff, and you want to take just go from like light gaming to medium, I would say any of the 40X games, but pick the one that kind of your topic you're interested in. I love Normandy. I've been to Normandy. I actually have sand from the Normandy beach about 10 feet from me on my desk over here. So, I mean, this is like one of the themes, and I keep playing this every year. I don't play it very long, maybe about 3 or 4 turns, and then, I kind of move on, which is, my bad. But hopefully maybe this year I will sit down and play a full campaign against somebody. Great game. Absolutely one of the best. Number 32 out of thousands and thousands of games. It's an all-time classic. Get it. Number 31 is another brand new game to me this year. This is a Civilization game. And this spot is going to be for several games of the series. Again, it's going to be a combination of all of the games from Imperium. So we have Imperium Classic, Imperium Legends, and Imperium, the third one. I can't remember the third one. So all those games are going to be in there. This is a Civilization game. It's all cards. And you're trying to evolve your civilization from a barbaric state into an empire state, and try to earn the war or the bestest cards for your empire, and at the same time trying to get enough stability and enough legacy for your civilization that you can start to get the end of game cards, which are super powerful scoring cards and super powerful effects. And that's kind of how you win the game, is to get kind of the most of those cards. But the only way to get them is to evolve your civilization. The cool thing about this game is every one of the civilizations can play solo, or it can play it AI, and every single solitary civilization in this game has its own solitaire system. So Nigel Bickle and David Turczi are at it again, creating an awesome game, an awesome system, and they go above and beyond, creating a solo system that allows you to play against any of the factions from any of the boxes. So you can take, the Selks against, the Vikings, or you can take the Romans and put them up against the Arthurians, or you can take the, all of the other races that are in there, any one of them. You can combine them and play them, and you can have historical matchups like Rome versus Carthage, or Greece versus the other guys, the guys I can't think of, and for some reason my brain is not thinking well. So you can do these historic matchups, or you can do these weird, whatever you want to do. It's great. It plays good in about an hour to an hour and a half. And yeah, it's a really good game. It's all cards, and you're just trying to evolve your civilization. You get to do basically 3 actions on your turn. Do your, I'm going to play this card, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to try to get this card and add it to my civilization. So, very quick, very simple. AI plays anything with David Turczi is going to be an awesome AI, and for me, this is like the modus operandi of all games, because it's got an AI system not for the game, it's got an AI system for every single faction that's in the game. My number 31, new to us this year, is Imperium Classics. Speaking of new to us this year, we're going to the top 30 games of all time. Number 30 is brand new to us this year. And I like to introduce this game by saying to be or not to be. And that's right, I'm talking about Space Bees Apiary. That's right, it is, without a doubt, a great worker placement game, a medium weight Euros. It comes with 20 different starting factions in the game. 20 different starting factions in the game. It's a worker placement game, but the interesting mechanism that's going on in this game is all of your workers are bees, and as you put them out, when you bring them back to the hive, they will level up from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4. And then once they come back from level 4, they will hibernate and get you will get to put them on the end of game scoring track. And that's how the game ends, is when that track fills up. When there's enough bees on it, the game will end. And so you're trying to complete as many victory points by trying to evolve your species, trying to get all the right resources, trying to get the right buildings and build the right buildings. You can even build the bee dances in this game, which will give you different awards based upon the random tokens. And that is part of what I should mention. And one of the best things I like about Apiary is it's completely random setup. All the buildings that come out into play, all the different locations you can go to are random. The way the dances are set up are completely random. There is a ton of random setup, so every game is going to be completely different. Not only that, but again, you will start with 20 different factions in the base game. So you would have to play a minimum of 10 games to see all of the factions if you're playing with 2 people. If you're playing with 5 people, well then, it's only going to take you 4 times to play. But there's just a ton of replayability. The artwork is exceptionally good in all the cards and on the player board. It even has a Queen Mothership token, which is the little token on the board that moves around. And the thing is like 3 or 4 inches long. It's massive. It looks cool on the table. If I could paint it one of these days, that would be really cool. Bees in Space, who would have thunk it? But it's my number 30. It's a medium weight Euro game that I think is really, really good. My number 29 was number 85 last year. So this jumped up a bunch. I'm talking a bunch. We played it a few times earlier in the year. We never got around back to it. It is a great adventure game, plays great solo, and it is The Lost Ruins of Arnak. So it dropped a whole bunch from 85 down to 29. Played it a few times. It came out with another new expansion in 2024. And it also had a Leaders expansion, which I think came out in 2023. The Leaders expansion came out. But I think those expansions, for me, really rounded out The Lost Ruins of Arnak and gave you more of a purpose. The base Lost Ruins of Arnak, for me, was like, okay, I'm ready to go. What do I do? Like, there was no, like, direction. What should I do? Like, how am I progressing? There's no, like, missions. There's no nothing. What do I do? Now there's leaders that give you special abilities and give you special things to go for, and now you've got actual campaign missions that you can go on that tell a story and change out how the rules play, so every time it's different. So now it's kind of more, for me, in my opinion, fleshed out than it was before, and it's a great game. The artwork is awesome. The Leaders expansion really makes it interesting because every player plays differently. What I'm doing is different than what you're doing, and so like you might be able to like race up the temple track really well, while I might be able to go on adventures and claim more of the adventures easier, while another player might be able to get more of the artifacts out and get more of an engine going. There's all kinds of different cool things that you can do in this game. Super cool game. It is a kind of a table hog. It is kind of a slog if you don't have the expansions. Like I said, the base game only can be kind of okay, what do I do? I'm not sure. Okay, I could put my worker here, but that gives me a scroll. What do I do with the scroll? I don't know. Type experience. And that's kind of why I wasn't very high on this game. But with the new expansions, it seems like it plays better in my opinion. Okay, moving on. Oh boy, how the mighty have fallen. I am almost ashamed of this one, and I'm really thinking I should probably have reevaluated this list. But this was my number 2 game last year. Damn, I know. It's fallen to number 28, which is still great. I mean, 28 is like... it's 28th best game of all time, but you feel bad for a game that was number 2 and drop it all the way down there. We played it. How many times did we play this game too? I know I played it a bunch. How many times? 7 times. I played this game 7 times and it still fell. Not sure why. It is one of my all-time favorite classic games. It is Marvel Legendary. My number 2 game last year. And I played it 7 times. Again, I think maybe I might have messed up putting this down at 28. But there's a lot of great games above it. So we'll see. This is a Marvel with tons and tons of different Marvel characters. Hulk and Captain America and Spider-Man. But they also have like all these like Captain Britain and White Wolf, and it's got every single kind of character you could possibly think of is in an expansion. There's like 28 different expansions you can get for this game, and with the expansions come new masterminds and new enemies and new scenarios to play. And I probably have never even played all the characters that I have. I have 2 boxes of this game with all the expansions in one, and then the core box, which is filled up with more expansions in it. When you start putting all that stuff together, you're talking like 200 different characters to play. I'm thinking just off the top of my head, there's got to be like 30 or 35 different villains. There's probably got to be about, 70 or 80 different scenarios to play. There's so much variability in this game. I will say the one thing going against this game is it doesn't play great solo, first of all, because there's a lot of cards that interact with the other player. Like, oh, you play this card, then your fellow player can draw a card or whatever. So if you're playing solo, a lot of those cards just don't have the same meaning if you're playing solitaire, right? So I try to play this two-handed, and the problem with playing two-handed is not really a problem, but it's the deficit of playing two-handed is you can have cards that you might be able to play on your opponent's turn. So I'm constantly looking, oh, wait a minute, let me see, does this player have a card that has a keyword that allow me to play that card during my opponent's turn? All the characters somewhat play differently. I guess the one downside is you can have 200 different characters, but if like 10 of the characters do the same thing, are they really different? Maybe the artwork's different, but they're not really technically different. There's only two different things. There is buying power, which is called, I don't even know what the word is. And there is attack. So you either buy or attack. Those are the two resources. And so each of the cards are giving you a certain amount of buying power and a certain amount of attack power. So you're trying to fine-tune your deck to buy lots of good cards while then getting a lot of attacks so you can defeat the enemies that are coming out constantly every turn against you, where the villain works against you. This is one of these games where you play a hand, you do your thing, buy cards, put this out, defeat this enemy, do all this, boom, 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 and then the game works against you. And then you play the next character and do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to play these cards, buy this. I'm going to kill this character, or I'm going to kill this villain, or, this monster. And then I'm done. And then the game works against you. So it does technically play great, but with that interaction, you're always, you go back to the other player, you're like, oh, I could have played this on your turn, but now it's too late. So now I've screwed myself. So there is a little bit of that. Still an awesome game, legendary, a Marvel deck building game. Number 2 down to number 28, which means we're going to have a new number 2 this year. We will. Number 27 was actually number 29 last year, so it's jumped up 2 spots, just 2. This is obviously one of my all-time favorite games. This is almost the game that I like to use as an example of how bloat and expansions can kind of ruin the game and cause you to not play it anymore. And the game I'm talking about is Talisman, the Magical Quest game, the 4th edition. I actually have as soon as I find it, it's right here somewhere. Oh, right here. I actually have the brand new 5th edition game of Talisman, which is going to be coming to the channel here in the next couple days. So we're going to try out the 5th edition to see what's different in it. So I did end up picking that up recently, and yeah, Talisman, I love this game, but this is one of these things where the main board is huge for some reason. I don't understand why it's so damn big. And then you have expansions that have a huge board on the side of that. So like literally you need like an 8-foot long table just to put out if you're going to play with the main board and all the there's 4 corner boards, then there's 2 expansions that go between two of the corner boards. It is a huge, massive table hog. If look up Board Game Geek, I'm sure somebody's posted some video or some pictures of the full game. So that is probably the only reason it's not much higher than number 27 is because, because of that, it's so much easier and so much better to play it online. Like Steam has got an awesome game, and once you buy the game and buy all the expansions and everything, which can be quite expensive, we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 to $60 for the Steam version of it. Once you get all the expansions, so it can be quite an undertaking, but it's so much easier, so much better to play it than trying to manipulate a spot for your decks, because you're going to need your adventure decks. Then you're going to need your player cards, and you're going to need your player tokens, and you're going to need to... it's just such a big boy mess. And so we're gonna see how the fifth edition, when it's done, to alter that or make it any better or make it any worse, coming up soon. But 4th edition, still an all-time classic. You're going to be taking your characters, you're going to try and power them up as quickly as possible, so you can get to so you can get a talisman. And once you have a talisman, you make it into the center of the board and hopefully defeat the boss that's in the center. Now, all the expansions that I've been complaining about do add a lot of variety to the game. It also there's a dragon expansion that'll add dragons to the middle of the board, so you'll have to fight the dragons at the end of the game. And all the other expansions have added random end scenarios, so you're not just fighting the same guy over and over and over and over and over again at the end of the game. There's tons and tons of other missions. Like, one mission might be the first player that gets to the middle of the game gets a bonus, and then he attacks another player every single turn until he's killed everyone off. And so you're like, oh, shoot, I can't let anyone else get to the center before me because they're just going to try and kill me off. Or you might have one where it's like the guy that makes it to the center starts taking every single player every turn and having them remove one of their items from them, weakening them. So it changes how the game plays every single time, which is great, and that's why it's number 27. I love randomness. I love having lots of different characters with all the expansions. I think there's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 46 different characters or something to play. Each of them with special abilities. They play differently. Yeah, really cool game. If you haven't played Talisman, you should try it out. Get at least the core game and try it out before you get anything else. All right, number 26 was 27 last year, so just about dead on where it was last year. So it hasn't moved much. Played it once, I think, in 2024. Only once, but it's probably stayed in this spot because it's a medium weight Euro game with a great strategy and a great theme, and it does it really, really well. And the game I'm talking about is Revive. It does have a nice random setup. Every time you're going to be building the map with the tiles facing down, so you're never sure. You always come out of the ground at the same spot. The story behind Revive is humanity, Ice Age comes, humanity goes underground for 50,000 years, and now they're trying to revive civilization again and build civilization back on the surface. And so you're coming out of the ground and you're never sure what you're going to experience. This is an engine building game extraordinaire. This is one of these games that you're going to play a card to do this, which will move this token up, which will get you this resource, which will allow you to do this. It's one of those combolicious things. Like in the beginning, you're only doing like one card, you're only doing this, but as the game progresses, I can move this, which will move this technology up, which will allow me to get an extra card, which I will take this card here, and now I can play a card that allow me to do this and get 6 more resources, and your turn evolves into this massive, awesome engine building thing. It's pretty much stayed consistent, 27, 26 on my list. This is a medium weight Euro game, so it doesn't get to the table all the time because, just in this group of 20, I've said medium Euro game about 4 times. So, there's only so many medium Euro games you can play in a year. It does get played, but I wish I could play it more. It's always just something else and play something else and do something else, so it just doesn't get played as much as I would like to. But it does have top 20 material in it. But again, this could drop down to 80 or 100 if I don't play it this year. So this year will be a big year for it. It's always, those games come out and then you play them, and now a year or 2 later is when you find out. Like, do you play it again? Or do you just let it sit there? That's how your games fall off the list. Still a great game. It's, like I said, it's one of those evolution games where you're doing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get these resources, which allows me to move over there. Done. Okay. And then by the end of the game, again, you're boom, 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 and moving this to move this, which gives me this, and I can move this, and this track, which gives me this resource, which moves this up. I'm going to turn these 2 resources in to do this. Your turn just turns into this really awesome mechanism, which is super cool. Revive, number 26. Number 25 was 137, which is a damn shame. This game should never have been off my top 100 list. I really messed up last year. I really messed up. If there was one game that I look at and I go, well, this game shouldn't have been off my list, it was this one. This is by one of my all-time favorite companies. We've talked about them before when I talked about Lockup. This is Role Player. Oh my God, this game is so interesting because you're creating a Dungeons and Dragons type character with all the different cards and the dice, and you're drafting dice, and then you're trying to put them into a strength, intelligence, charisma, constitution, dexterity, and all those. And each one of those different spots has a way to manipulate the dice, and then you're trying to also earn money to buy equipment for your characters. Each of the equipments will give you special abilities, and you're trying to, if you buy the expansions, the Monsters and Might, I can't remember the name of it, expansion, then as you're building your character, you're also fighting against monsters and what you're trying to do is evolve and build your character, so at the end you're fighting the main villain and you're able to defeat that main villain. That's what you're trying to do. And if you get the Monsters and Madness, or Monsters and Midness, or whatever it's called, expansion, then as you're building your character, you can fight the minions. The minions might tell you, oh, hey, the boss, you need to have, you're going to get extra dice for every red cube you use in your character. Or if you're lawful good, you're going to get extra dice to fight the enemy, or, things like that. So there's alignment, there's a whole bunch of different characters, each of them having different stats and different ranges. You're trying to get your stats into those different ranges, and if you do, then you get bonus points at the end, which will award you more dice to fight the boss at the end of the scenario. It's not at all anything like Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of make believe making a character, if that makes some sense. The artwork is awesome. Again, if you get all the expansions, it just rounds the game out so good. The solo plays fine. It's another one of these. You got choices to make, and then you make your choice, and then the AI will take away one of the other choices, and then you're going to be randomizing everything for the next round. So the AI is just going to be taking things away, so you can't be like, oh, I'll take this turn and then that next turn. Can't do that because the AI might take it. So it's make-believe of making a character. Now, I know Phoenix Knight has actually taken this program and made his characters to import into other games. And in fact, you can take Role Player, build characters, and put it into Role Player Adventure, which is also by Thunderworks Games. It's a big, massive campaign game. And like I said, you could use the Role Player game to build your characters, to import them into the Role Player game system. Mine is still in the shrink because, again, I don't play that many campaign games, but I do play Role Player, and I really, really like it. Number 25, Role Player. In fact, I'd like to know how many times I did play Role Player. Dungeon Role Player Adventure, Roll Through the Ages, Roman Roll, Lockup, or Role Player Tale, and Role Player. Oh, I only played it once. Well, according to my sheet, I only played it once, which means I only entered it into Board Game Geek once. Not sure why. I think I had played it more than once. I must have played it more than once, but I forgot to enter it. I'm really bad about that. I gotta try to convince myself to make sure I don't forget to do it. Anyways, Role Player number 25. We're up in the top 25 of all time, and it definitely deserves a spot. Never should have been off my list. 137. That's a shame. Number 24 is a brand new game to me this year. It's been out for a long time. This is I'm talking classic game. which is kind of what drove me to it. I'm like, oh, a lot of people talk well about this game. I should buy it and play it. And I did. And as soon as I played it, I'm like, oh, this is good. I went out and bought all the expansions, all the new maps, everything for it. And this is, of course, Concordia. It's new to me. It's not new to the board game community, but it's new to me. I never got around to playing it, and I am so glad I picked this up. In fact, this Christmas break, just a couple weeks ago, I ended up buying the Concordia digital on Steam, so now I can play it both ways. So I think this game's going to, get played a lot. If you play the board game, you must, if you want to play solo, you must buy the Solitaria expansion, which you gotta get. If you gotta get it, it's awesome. It makes playing Concordia solo like the best thing since sliced bread. It is the best AI system of all these 20 that we're going to talk about. I would say Concordia probably has the most interesting, so maybe not the best solo system, but the most interesting, because you're going to be playing a card that's going to tell you what to do on it. And then on the bottom of the card, it's going to tell you what the AI does in response to what you do. So it might be like you're going to try and get one of the technology cards at the top of the board. And then the AI might be buying one of those cards. Or, whatever the result is. So it's when you play your card, you know exactly what the AI is going to do. It's not like randomness. You know ahead of time. And this is one of these games, you have a hand of cards, and you play them, 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 and you play them until, like, I got 2 choices left, or I pull all the ones back in. So you can only play them once until you scarf them back in. And one of your cards will allow you to get all your cards back to you. And when you do that, get the cards back in your hand, you kind of evolve and you get special bonuses and stuff. There's this whole mechanism where you're trying to get different areas of the map. You have map area control going on, and each of the different locations on the map has a special resource. So you're trying to build in those different locations so that when those locations activate, anybody that has presence in that location gets the resources. And then here's the kicker. Every one of those cards I was talking about on the very bottom tell you how it scores at the end of the game. So like each one is based upon a Greek god, and each of those cards might be like, for every orange card you have, you get 5 victory points at the end of the game. Or you might be like, for every spice territory you have, you get 2 victory points at the end of the game. Per card, like, you could have 6 of the same cards, but you would get 6 times whatever, So those cards are so meaningful and so interesting. As I said, it's probably, of all the 20 we're going to talk about, it probably has the most interesting system for AI, as you know what they're going to be doing because you're playing. You can see on the card, this is what I get to do, but this is what the AI is going to do. Oh, do I really want the AI to draw a card? Well, then you don't want to play that one. You might want to play a different one. It's top 20 in a lot of people's, if you look at classic board gaming lists, it's probably going to be in the top 50 of a lot of people out there. Concordia. It's a great game, and I'm glad I got it in 2024. 2023 now was number 6 last year. Oh, how the mighty have fallen again. We had number 2, and now we got number 6 already fallen. Hey, Richard, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. So this is deck building, which is my number 1 mechanism of all time. It has dinosaurs, which is like one of the greatest themes of all time. I mean, what can go wrong when you got deck building and dinosaurs? Not a whole heck of a lot when you're talking about Apex, the Collector's Edition. hunt, evolve, and dominate. This is basically, we just looked at this game not too long ago, a Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. This game right here, Apex, is very similar in structure and what you're doing and how you're laying the cards out and you're buying cards and stuff. But the advantage of this game is you're evolving your species. You got different. You have your own hunt mechanism where you're going to hunt the enemies down, and then you also have, once you kill an enemy, instead of just removing it like it's a superhero and you just take it away, and this you are putting it into your lair, and you then use those points on the cards to evolve your species. So there's a lot of interesting mechanisms going on in this game, but it's a very quick, easy, legendary type game. But again, with dinosaurs, the one downside that takes it, I guess, down from number 6 to number 23. And again, 23 is like still awesome. I mean, this game is a beautiful, awesome game. And when I talk bad about it, I'm not talking bad about it. I'm just saying here is a negative if you want to put a negative on a great game. The one negative I would give it is you are playing 7 rounds. And then the very last round you play is when the meteor comes and wipes everything out. And what you're trying to do is evolve your species to be the most powerful species. So when the meteor hits, you're like the king of the kings. You're kind of the bosses. There is all kinds of super cool, great, different dinosaurs. Some of these guys I can't even pronounce to play, which is awesome. Yes, you can play as Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yes, you can play as the other guys, the Raptors. You can play as Raptors. You can play as Tyrannosaurus Rex. You're going to be hunting down and eating Stegosauruses. You're going to be hunting down and eating Brontosauruses and 30 or 50 other monsters that you've never even heard of, unless you're a dinosaur expert. It's obviously the collector's edition has got the base game and all the expansions and all the bells and whistles. It's an awesome, awesome experience. It makes you feel like a predator where you're trying to hunt down these animals, and then once you kill the animal, you're putting it in so you can evolve your species, and you spend those evolve points on special cards that'll give you special things to do in your deck, to remove cards or play extra cards, or you feel like you're evolving because you're getting to do all these new fancy cool things. Apex Theropod. And if you don't know what a theropod is, join the crowd. I had no idea what it was. A theropod is a two-legged animal, a two-legged dinosaur, maybe. I'm thinking is what the definition of it is. Here, I'm trying to give you the definition. I'm not 100% sure. But it is Apex, the theropod deck building game. And a theropod, I think, is a two-legged meat-eating dinosaur. That's what we'll go with. Sounds good. Number 22, we're almost done with this list. Congratulations if you stuck around this long. This is another brand new game to me. Brand new. First time ever. I think it was released in 2023, but I didn't get it until 2024. And it's a awesome, awesome game. It is an engine building game that uses a great mechanism based upon the Wingspan universe, and of course I am talking about Wormspan. And ignore the rank of number 6. I forgot to remove that from the previous one. That was Apex. So for some reason I forgot to do that. So ignore that. It should say NA down there. So Wormspan is brand new to us. It is, hey, Robert Bryan, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. Happy New Year to you as well. This is a game very, very similar to Wingspan, if you're familiar with Wingspan. You're going to be playing Dragons Out. You're going to be playing your caves and building and excavating different locations. You're going to be sending your little worker out to try and get new resources. You're going to be trying to entice new dragons to come in to your different areas. It is got a great AI system. It is by Stonemaier Games, and Stonemaier Games uses the Atoma Factory for all of their games, or most of their games anyways. And the Atoma Factory does an awesome job at creating AI systems. It's beautiful. It's very similar to the Wingspan AI system, but a little bit different. It has this board and this track. You're going to be moving the pieces around. But Wormspan is very similar to Wingspan. You're going to have different goals in the first round, different goal in the second round. For example, like in round 1, it might be the most aggressive dragons in your tableau. And so like you're trying to put out aggressive dragons. There's aggressive dragons, there's shy dragons, there's energetic dragons. I mean, there's like 4 different classifications. Or you might get one that says have the most dragons in one of the 3, I think it's like I can't think of the name of them right now. There's like a purple. It's like I can't think of the names. Drawing a blank. I'm sorry, but there's like just like Wingspan. There's like a forest and a prairie and a wetlands. Like the dragons have the same thing. One is like orange, one is yellow, and one is purple, or something like that. So you're trying to just get your dragons, put them in. You got to dig out the caves now, and you're going to be not only holding and running your dragons, you're also going to be holding and running your caverns, and you're going to be building the caverns, which will give you resources. Hey, Happy New Year to you as well, Herb. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming by. All the way up from Maine. Wow, you're up there. Oh, stay warm, my friend. Stay warm. All right, so that's number 22, Wormspan. Last one on the list this week is going to be, I think, our first sports game, and maybe the highest ranked sports game that I own at this point. It was number 30 last year, and it dropped down to number 21. We must be playing it a lot. How many times do we play it? Let me look this one up. It is 3 times. Okay, well, I mean, that's not too bad. 3 times. It's a great game, and it does college football right. It is, of course, Glory Days College Football. Number 30 last year, number 21, up a little bit. I really like the way this game is designed. It is a series by series type game. You can play it 3 ways. You can play it play by play if you wanted to do it. You can just do overview of each series, gives you a result, or you can play it as hybrid mode. And what that does is it tells you what happens in the series and then lets you pick it up play by play. So like you might get the kickoff at like the 25-yard line, and then you roll and you find out that you made it 45 yards and it's 3rd down and 2. So now you pick it up and do play by play, and you try to, obviously score or kick a field goal or whatever, and then you're just doing that. So it kind of takes the mundane part of the game out where it's like, okay, I'm on the 20-yard line, then we roll in the ball when we get 2 yards, and then we pass the ball for 12 yards, and then we run it for another 2, and then we lose 2 yards on a sack, and then on 3rd and 8, we can complete a pass for 10 yards, and that whole drive part, you get to the red zone on TV. Like, you get the part where, oh, hey, a team's ready to score. Let's find out if they score or not. That's kind of what this game simulates with the hybrid mode. Again, you can play this game 100% play-by-play, or you can play this game and just go, okay, I just want the result of every single drive. Just roll the dice, find out, get the result. Okay, they ended up getting a field goal. Oh, they ended up punting. Oh, it's a fumble. You get the results. You don't have to, and it goes much quicker. So because of the modularity of this game, the hybrid mode of this game, which lets you sink your teeth in but not jump in the pool in the deep end, this game plays in about an hour to an hour and a half. And normally a football game lasts 3 to 4 hours minimum. If you're going to go play-by-play game, you're talking 3 hours to get a play-by-play game from start to finish. For me, that's too much a commitment. I like the hybrid mode where I can get a game in like an hour and a half, and I feel like I experienced the whole game. And you do. You feel like you experienced the whole game. It's a great moment. Yes, the Amethyst Abyss. I was right at the top of my tongue. The Amethyst Abyss from Wormspan just a minute ago. Yes, Mike, you're right. Gosh darn it. It was right on my tongue, too, and I kept thinking it was Amethyst, but I couldn't get it out. My brain wasn't working. I appreciate your comment. Thanks, Mike. You're the best. You're the bestest. Glory Days College Football, well, let me tell you this right off the bat. It's my number one college program out there, period. It's the best of the best. If you want to play college football, I would say Glory Days College Football. Now, with that said, I know he's evolved the system into the pro football and kind of altered it to make it more in tune with his other games, his boxing game, his other games in the system. And I understand he's going back to rehash the original Glory Days College Football and make those part of the changes to fit in with the pro football and the boxing. So they're all very similar. So I'm really looking forward to those days. But until that happens, I'm still going to say Glory Days College Football is my number one college football game out there and probably my favorite football game of all time. So that's it. That's it, boys and girls. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Another one of the books. We have one to go. Top 20 of all time. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Top 20 of all time. And then we'll be done with this list. And we're only going to be in January 5th. And that means we got all 100 games done in 5 days. I feel very good about getting this project done. Last year it took over a month to get it done, and I didn't want it to keep lingering and going on and on and on. I just wanted to get it done and over with so I can concentrate on getting other new games to the channel and introducing new things to you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the list of 40 down to 21. Again, what I like to do is just rehash really quickly for those people that might have missed the beginning. We have number 21 is Glory Days College Football. Number 22 is Wormspan. Number 23 was Apex, the theropod deck building game. Number 24, Concordia. Number 25, Role Player. Number 26 was Revive. Number 27 was Talisman 4th Edition. Number 28 was Legendary, Marvel Legendary. Number 29 was Lost Ruins of Arnik. Number 30 was Apiary. Number 31 was Imperium Classic, or any of the Imperium games. Number 32 was a great war game, a great medium weight, awesome war game, Normandy 44. Number 33 was Cascadia, a very lightish game that allows you to really have a fun moment in about 40 minutes. Number 34 was G.I. Joe, the deck building game. Definitely theme matters. If you are a G.I. Joe nut, you might love this game. If you don't care about the G.I. Joes at all, it might not appeal to you. 35, The Lord of the Rings, the card game. If you want to play through some of the greatest moments in the Lord of the Rings cards, books, movies, history, this game and this system will do it for you. Number 36 was Terraforming Mars. Number 37 was Altar Quest. If you're looking for a dungeon building game that's very modular in how it does it, and it has a very interesting dice mechanism, Altar Quest. Number 38 is one of the best tactical war games out there, Heroes of Normandy. Easy to learn, easy, quick to play, tons of variability, tons of replayability. And number 39, Terracotta Army, another medium weight Euro game with some great area majority mechanisms where you're building your Terracotta Army. And number 40, of course, anything Gloomhaven, one of the number one game of all time for the longest time, up until I think last year it lost its number one ranking. Might have been 2023 when it lost its number one ranking, but it's still like number 2 or 3 or 4. I'm ranking it number 40 because it is a little bit longer to play for the campaign, and it is a major commitment in time and effort and structure and space and just everything that goes into the game. So thanks everyone for coming out today. That was our 40 down to 21. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, our top 20. We'll see you all then. Until then, my friends, don't you forget, I will see you all down the line. You take care. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.